Hey everyone! So, I'm indulging myself a little with this advent calendar, and I thought we could do one more day on art. Specifically, 3 figures that have been turning up quite a few times during the past videos. Namely, the 3 Magi. Here in Austria we call them the 3 Holy Kings, Caspar, Balthasar and Melchior. And you can see here that they bring gifts to the Christ child. Frankincense, gold and myrrh. And they come from somewhere in the east and followed a star that showed them the way to the manger, where Mary is throning here with the child. The date for this feast is the 6th of December here in Western churches. Eastern churches did follow a Julian calendar. We put it on the 19th of January, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I got this right. And we usually think of it as sort of the end of Christmas season. At least I do. I don't know if there's a church background, but the winter holidays usually go from Christmas to Epiphany. So for me, this is the end of the winter holidays. What we have here again is a northern depiction from the Renaissance. This is from 1518. And we've already looked at that quite in depth when we had the Van der Weyden paintings. But what I didn't know and what I find really fascinating is that the solemnity of the 3 Magi actually developed a little later and developed more in the Orthodox churches and not in the Western churches. And there's also 2 slightly different things that are being celebrated. But I would say let's jump back in time and have a look at some of the origins, shall we? So here we have a marmor plate. This is from the second half of the 3rd or the start of the 4th century, so quite old. We have an inscription here. Severa in Deo vivas. Oh, I'm sorry, it says Severa in Deo vivas. They didn't start a new word here. It means Severa, may you live in God. So it's probably for a girl that passed away and who was placed on a grave. And what we have here is maybe one of the first depictions of the 3 Magi. We have a depiction of Mary here on the right hand side, holding the Christ child, which is stretching out its little arms towards the Magi. We have the throne here in the background. We have a star up here on top. And then the 3 Magi, looking very similar in the way they approach the Christ child. their legs in the same position, their hands stretched out with their gifts. And I really like the description here on the side. This says their capes are blowing in the wind and behind them because they're approaching so fast. So they're really hurrying towards Jesus. The specific depiction of Mary probably dates back to older times, so what we would call pagan times. There's a specific way of depicting a deity with a child, which was adapted from Mary with Jesus. The thing with the three Magi that I find very fascinating is I always thought, because we call them the three holy kings, that they were kings that are coming from somewhere in the east. But the English word is Magi, which refers to not to kings, but probably astronomers or astrologists, probably from Persia, as they were at the time known to be very good at reading the stars and following the stars. In the text it doesn't say that there were three of them, but of course it's a nice number to depict and quite a symbolic number in Christianity. The important part is also that they are not Jewish. So what's being celebrated at Epiphany is the presentation of the Christ child to the Gentiles. At least that's what we celebrate in the Western churches. In the Eastern churches it's a little difficult. This is more about the baptism of Jesus. Still, the idea behind it is the same, that you celebrate the mystery of the incarnation. Right, and there's one more image of the three Magi that I'd like to have a look at, because I absolutely love this one. I think this is my favorite. This is from a French cathedral in Saint-Lazare, and it's from the Middle Ages, from either 1125 or 1135, so sometime between that. It's a Romanic sculpture. You have quite a lot of figures in there that are somewhat well preserved considering their age. And one of them is this here, which is the dream of the Magi, or the dream of the kings. You have 1, 2, 3 kings. This one depicted here with a nice beard. All of them wearing their crowns to bed when they get snuggly. And they share this beautiful blanket. You can see the details here on the edge, like little knots. And then I've read a description of this that said it looks like the ripples of water falling into a lake. On the side we have the angel. Pointing upwards towards the star and touching the hand of one of the kings. You can see that he's already waking up. He's opened his eye. The other two are still sleeping. We have a beautiful depiction of the wings. You can see the individual feathers almost. So this is before they get up to start their journey. Two of them still lost in slumber, and the third one awoken by an angel pointing out something important going on. And I guess from there, they were hurrying as fast as they could with their capes blowing behind them to arrive at the Christ child. I imagine they came maybe on a camel from the east. Or what do you think? Maybe they also had some elephants. Who knows where exactly they came from? In Austria we still have some traditions around Epiphany, like Sternsingen, which is when 3 kids dressed up as the 3 kings come to your flat or your door. They sing some Christmas songs and usually connect donations for a good cause. And they will leave an inscription on top of your door in chalk that protects you for the remainder of the year. For next year, we'll read 20 CMB 22, usually with crosses in between, so the specifics vary depending on the region and their exact costumes. Alright, so I think that was it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again